Welcome everyone to the Year in Review workshop. I am so excited to be able to do this and that you are joining me for it. So first of all, I want to ask a question that I hope you can be honest with yourself about. Are you experiencing any imbalance in your life? And just think about that for a moment. And what potential impact has it had on the different areas of your life? What's the ripple effect of it? So I know for me, the past few years have been a consistent state of imbalance, and seems like that for pretty much everyone around the world. So what has amazed me is that looking back on this time, that if I had not had these tools, this framework and the formulas, that I would be floundering and I would be looking back on my year with a lot of regret and repeating that same pattern of having really good intentions, being so sure that things are going to change and it just not ever changing. So this is the year that it can all change, but we all need a little help and support. So I am so excited to be able to walk with you through some of the things that have really helped me just get through daily life. But not only that, but to go forward and transform my entire life and that of those around me. It really has been transformational. So I'm going to show you a real quick video and then we will get right into it.
In 1997, the ULA Guru shared the importance of a balanced life to the ULA Seeker. They began to meet yearly in Las Vegas to set goals helping them achieve success in the 7 key areas of an ULA life. But over time, they lost touch. The ULA Seeker drifted from the simple ULA principles and found himself at the bottom, bankrupt, divorced, and defeated. Discouraged and living in a motel, he called his old friend, the ULA Guru, who lived a balanced life and was achieving continual success. They reunited and made a plan to uncover the lost principles that helped them find balance in business and life. Seeing firsthand these simple principles work yet again, they became passionate about sharing. They wrote an international bestseller detailing the 7 areas of life needed to find balance and be happy. The ULA guys are crisscrossing the country in a 1970 VW surf bus, sharing ULA, inspiring hope, collecting dreams, and helping people achieve them. They are committed to changing the world with a word, helping people remove what is blocking them, to reveal their greatness and extraordinary purpose within.
Without using the principles of ULA in my life, I know I would not be where I am today.
It's real.
Fitness helped me regain my whole life.
Just seeing your goals right in front of you, it's motivating and it's inspiring.
Now it's your turn to experience the ULA life.
So I just wanted to give a preface about ULA and where this whole concept, the framework, comes from. And it's not entirely new, but I think the ULA guys have just done it in a really well-balanced way. So there are a lot of frameworks, a lot of formulas out there, and I think it really is about the different personalities of what fits best for you. But what I've seen, the consensus is that this whole concept really works for everyone because you tailor it to you. It's all about meeting you where you are at and not trying to put you into a box. So as we move forward, a few things to remember. This is probably the most important here, is just to be honest with yourself, to let down your expectations, your judgments, comparing yourself against other people or where you think you should be at in life, if it's not authentic to you. So you be authentic to who you really are. And as you go through this, no one is over you judging you, how far you've come or where you didn't get to. So make sure you have your worksheet out and ready. I'm going to go through an exercise, and that'll give you time to prepare. Make sure you have a pen, pencil, something that works that you can write with. And go ahead and grab your favorite beverage. I have my new tea, Clear Intentions tea, that has some very yummy herbs in there. And if you are a part of our Onward and Upward course, then this is something you can expect to get in your first month. So I'm enjoying that here as I am processing and thinking about my past year and where I want to go, where I want to be next year. So get whatever is comfy for you, get in your cozy socks or go barefoot. Just get comfortable and get ready to really take a step back and do something really positive for yourself. And I want you to take a moment to, as you're about to go into this next activity, this next part can honestly be the most brutal for some people. It's when you're taking an honest look and coming face to face with some things. And so if you do choose to do this yourself, you may feel like what I feel when I look at this, and it's like, yeah, this just really throws all my excuses out the window when I look at that. And there's a healthy level of, maybe not fear is the word, but anxiety, not wanting to waste any more of my marbles. I don't want to lose my marbles. I want to be intentional with how they're being used and make sure I know exactly what happens when I get to move them over and put them in their place when they've been spent for the year. So I'm going to get my playlist going. Hopefully YouTube will be friendly to me, and I will pause it or mute it real quick just to get past the ads. And then we will move into our first activity in your year in review workbook. You're going to work on the high and low points activity. So that's a place where you really need to be completely honest. All right. Go ahead and start, and I'll get some music going on in the background.
Gentlemen, class of 97. Wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they fade. But trust me, 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and call them a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fair as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 a.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Say, don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't flip up with people who are reckless with yours. Flaws. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long. In the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. Succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Plenty of counsel. Be kind to the needs. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly.
Brother and sister, together we'll make it through. Someday a spirit will take you and guide you there. I know you will hurt me, but I've been waiting to be there for you. And I'll be there just helping you out whenever I can.
Get to know your parents. Get to know when they become good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends come and go, but when they're precious for you, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle. The older you get, the more you meet the people you knew when you were young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise. Politicians will philander. You too will get old. And when you do, you fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund. Maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. You never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me, I'm the sunscreen.
I don't know about you, but that one, every time I do that, it never gets any easier either. When you honestly look at those things, remembering, but there's a reason we go through everything. And if we just brush off some of the worst parts of it or the reasons we missed our goals, we miss out on sometimes the grit, the motivation, that inner thing that rises up in us that makes us determined to not have that experience anymore. So you can take a sip of whatever you have, oil up. I've got my Clear Intentions roller that is also part of the first month's toolkit for anyone who's in the Onward and Upward course. So that's super exciting. Very helpful for me personally. All right. So next should be page 8 in your journal, your workbook. That is a wheel. And in there are 7 different categories for fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun. So it's just a good loose way to kind of make sure you are hitting all the marks. You can afterwards feel free to go and add anything in there that you may feel you have missed. Self-care, that can also be included in fitness. But just go with it, and we're gonna have some fun here. We're gonna enjoy the playlist that I made, a few fun songs in there. If you see the little dots in here, when we get to this point, you're going to start from the inner hub and go outward when you rank it. So you'll connect the dots later. So we're gonna go into this and find out where you are balanced, where you are not, why it is you feel the way you do, and what part you may need to pump up over the next year. So the first part of the 3 main crucial steps to this framework is identifying where you are today. The first step to achieving your goals and dreams is to identify where you currently are in your life. And the ULA wheel can help you identify where you are, where you need to go to achieve your goals and dreams. And it's also that good, honest look at yourself that if you thought you were doing really well in one area, you find that you actually weren't covering all the most important bases that matter to you. So just prefacing the questions, the assessment, not all of this is going to pertain to you specifically. You go into it just looking at it as how does this best relate to you, what matters the most to you, and feel free to add or tweak anything. Maybe if it's not relevant to you in a certain category, then you add something that you notice was missing. Let's just say for the fitness, there's a lot in there that I personally would put in there over maybe some of the others. Maybe even like you don't care as much about getting to your ideal weight. Maybe that isn't a factor for you. So maybe if you wanted to cross it out and put in how much water you're drinking each day or how much sunlight you're getting. So whatever is relevant to you, don't spend too much time on it, but also don't get hung up on the questions there. Have fun with it, and it should be kind of a flowing, easy thing. Now, if you find yourself getting tripped up too much, that'll be a perfect opportunity to share when we talk about the ULA blockers. So you're gonna start on, I believe it's page 10 for you guys in your journal. And I'm gonna do a song for every section. So there will be 7 songs. So don't feel like you need to rush, take your time, go through it at your own speed. And first up is fitness. All right, so after you've tallied it all up, your total score, you're gonna divide it by 10. So I'll be totally transparent and say mine was 47. So I get 4.7. So down in that little teeny tiny wheel there, you can go ahead and mark it for fitness about, if yours is like mine 4.7, you just kind of estimate and do closer to the 5. And then you can go back onto the wheel, your main wheel page, which I believe is on page 2. You can go ahead and keep that one out next to you. So then on your fitness spoke, you can put it in there as well. And this one on page 2 is going to be your main one to go off of, your main visual. And then I'll give you just a little bit to do that. Of course, it'll be easier. You'll understand it more the more you do this. So I'll just kind of, I won't prompt you each time, you'll know what to do. All right, so next we have our finances. And I had a little bit of fun with this song.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Your love gives me such a thrill, but your love won't pay my bills. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Money don't get everything, it's true. What it don't get, I can't use. I want money.
Just flip it over and that should be your page 12. Before you do that, when you have done your tallied up your score, go ahead and remember to put that on your spokes for finance on page 2. We will have music as soon as it cooperates.
I'm 15 for a minute, running between 10 and 20, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. I'm 22 for a moment, and she feels better than ever. We're find out, making our way back from mine. 15, there's still time for you. Time to buy and time to lose. 15 was never a wish. Nowadays, we only got 100 years to live. I'm 33 for a moment. Still lonely, but you see I'm a day. Get on the way, babe. My family on my mind. I'm 45 for a moment. The sea is high and I'm heading through all my sins, chasing the years of my life. 15, there's still time for you. Time to buy and time to lose yourself in your own style. 15, I'm alright with you. 15 is never a wish better than this. Only got 100 years to live. As time goes by, suddenly you're right. Another blink of an eye. 67 stone, the sun is getting hot. We're moving on. I'm not behind for a moment. I'm fine for just another moment, and I'm just dreaming. Counting the ways to where you are. 15, there's still time for you. 22, I feel the hopes and grow. Gotta feel you're on your way. Every day's a new
We'll move forward into field. Field is wherever your focus, your passion is. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, it's home with your kids.
Choice
Next, we're moving on to faith. And this is whatever you believe in, it's unique for you. I don't believe the same things as pretty much anything else I know. As anyone else that I know, it's very different. So this is all unique to you. So for you, if it's spirituality, it's whatever connects you to your purpose in the world. All right, so next up, we are on to our sixth one. We are almost there, so hang in there. This is friends, and friends can be, it can mean a lot of things. So maybe you don't have as many close acquaintances, or maybe you do, but you don't talk as often as you'd like to. So just be honest with where you're at and what feels right for you. And then our next song, When Technology Cooperates. Right. Technical difficulties. So go ahead and move forward to the last one, which is fun. And ironically, this is what a lot of people put off, so it never really happens. Is go back to your wheel, and mine actually looks a lot better than the previous years, but you just connect the dots, and obviously you get to see where you're off balance. And if a real wheel is going to feel wobbly looking like that, then it's no wonder why you feel wobbly sometimes. But the ideal is to get it to where it's not like mine. I have a big bulbous little thing coming out on one side. So the idea is no matter what number it's at, that it's more even keel across all of the areas. And looking at that, does any of that surprise you? And then noticing maybe some areas that you thought you were doing really, really well in, and you're like, oh, I was in these few things, but there's this whole other section that I was not even looking at. So you're going to carry this into our next activity, but I'm going to talk real quickly about step 2. So step 2, pull my screen up again, is where do you want to go? This time next year, what do you want your wheel to look like? And now we're going to talk about dreams versus goals real quick. This is something that a lot of people kind of don't necessarily understand exactly, or they may interchange. So dreams are just the big, scary, ambiguous things that really make you have to come out of your comfort zone. Those are the things that are linked to your core what and why, the motivators in you, and they serve as the lighthouse in the distance to strive for. Or if you want to look at it like running a marathon, this is your end. This is winning that marathon. That's what dreams are. And then goals are very specific and tactical and practical, and are for the milestones to your dreams. So in the marathon reference, the goals would be like the mile markers. So that's the quick definition of that to help you into the next activities you'll be doing. You'll understand very clearly what we mean when we talk about dreams versus goals. And now we're just going to go into SMART goals really quickly. I know a lot of you are very, very familiar with this, but for those who aren't, or just as a refresher, it stands for specific, meaning you don't make vague goals such as be better at something. Vague goals mean vague results. Give yourself a specific goal like improve customer service response time. Next is measurable. Set a measurable goal. Goals such as increase annual sales by 12%, let you see when you're doing the full amount and give you a target for catching up when you fall short. It's super important. Next is accountable. Set goals that make you more accountable. Part of improving yourself and achieving goals is being able to take personal responsibility to stay on target and correct your mistakes. Be accountable to someone else. Post it on your social media, tell a friend, better yet, get a friend to do it with you, or be accountability partners to each other. But whatever you do, make sure you have some form of accountability to keep you in check, motivated, encouraged. And the biggest thing too, it's not just to have someone hold something over your head or remind you of where you perceive you may have fallen short, but we all need cheerleaders and coaches in our corner rooting us on when we are struggling sometimes and need to be reminded of how far we have come and why to keep on going. So next is realistic. Make sure to set goals that are realistic and achievable. Having unrealistic goals only sets you up for more failures. And when I crack apart some people's lives and see what happened, where they go wrong, it's that they don't set realistic goals. They may have the idea that by this time next year, they're going to lose 100 pounds and run an Ironman. And if they have severe health issues, that may not be realistic whatsoever. Of course, it's possible, but it may not be realistic. For a stay-at-home mom with 5 kids, it may not be a realistic goal that she's going to have an hour of quiet time every day. So by default, if it's not realistic, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. So that can also be a form of self-sabotage you may want to look into and note for future reference. So next is time. Establish a date, something with a timeline when each goal needs to be accomplished. This is setting down those goalposts, those goals, those mile markers that help you to get there, that break it down into pieces. And next, we get to talk about probably one of my favorite things, which is the power of affirmations. Affirmations play an important role which supports and enhances the SMART goal process. So we actually can use affirmations for every area of our life for many things, but specifically when we're looking at the goals in our lives and wanting to achieve them, these are incredible to use. So this can help affirm what you intend to achieve through the SMART process and helps quiet the negative voice within that wants to undermine your success. So if you know me for any length of time, I am an AFT practitioner. I use it pretty much all the time, multiple times a day. This is exactly the breakdown of what AFT is utilizing affirmations with essential oils aromatherapy to quiet the negative voice that wants to undermine your success. So I'm loosely touching on that, but just as a touch point that if you have roller bottles, oils, you can add that with your affirmations for an extra bang for your time. So using affirmations will unleash your full potential to achieve any goal you set. It's rewriting your script. In your journal, you do have affirmations for each of the 7 F's, and you can use those as a starting point if you are new to affirmations, or if you just haven't used those before and want to switch it up and try something different. But feel free to add your own, tweak it. And once we get into your breaking down your goals, you can add your goals onto those pages as well. Repeat them as often as you like and want to help support your goals. I definitely recommend daily, if not multiple times a day. And I actually use the ULA affirmation bands. I don't wear them, but I put them next to my desk so I see them often. And it's a good reminder, just kind of like the marbles, to stay focused on my goals. And also when I'm feeling fear, anxiety about something, I will kind of hold it in my hand, read it, meditate on it a little bit, get into that practice, use it with my oils, say it out loud, and just give myself a pep talk, basically. So now moving forward in your journal, we're going to go through and break down some goals for each of the 7 areas. So on page 20 should be your first page. And real quickly, I'm just going to give you a few ideas for SMART goals. So for fitness would be to join an exercise class of your choosing by such and such date, go hire a counselor or a coach, lose 15 pounds by your birthday. Instead of saying like drink more water, put a specific amount, like drink 60 more ounces a day, spread throughout the day. Now I'm going to turn on a playlist and you can go ahead and start thinking and just let it flow out and get your 3 main goals. And you can go back to the worksheet you did, the assessment for fitness, and any of the areas that you saw that kind of shocked you, or you were like, yeah, I really need to or want to spend more time on that. That's a great way to pull that into your goal here. Go ahead and get started. Now pick one main fitness goal for you to work on. And then you're going to go to the front of your workbook on page 3. And go ahead and write your fitness goals in there, keeping in mind the most important one. Put the most important one to you on the first one. Then when you're ready, you can move on to finance. Finance includes all things personal finance. So heavy debt and financial stress is one of the leading causes of marital stress. It's also the #1 reason why people lose their purpose and passion. Debt and financial burdens smother your options, bury your dreams, and take away your ability to make plans and move forward. You can't think, feel, or find happiness with the weight of unrelenting financial stress and living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not necessarily a full, free life. What is financial freedom to you? Make sure to add your goals to the little stickers on page 3. You can group family relationships into ever widening circles, from your closest loved ones at the center of your life to arm's length family relationships in the furthest circle. Your inner circle consists of the family members who you spend the most time with. Most likely your spouse, significant other, kids. If you're single, maybe it's an ex-spouse, stepkids, parents, siblings, etc. So the next circle should be filled with family members who are further out, in-laws, cousins, aunts, uncles, as well as parents from whom you're estranged. The furthest circle out are distant relatives you rarely see or speak to, maybe don't even care to. When you have them, go back to page 3 and write those goals in the little family goal circles. Next, go on into field. And field is what you dedicate your life to, your daily passions. Even if you don't have what's necessarily a career or profession, can also be you being a student or coaching people, whatever it is that you dedicate your life to. And if you need more time, you can totally take it. But I'm just going to go ahead and go into faith. And faith is based on gratitude, humility, and an understanding of our greater purpose in the world. While most people float through life unaware of the bigger picture, the truth is that you are here for a purpose. There's a unique calling on your life that requires your attention. And one of the easiest ways to discover this is by connecting to a higher purpose for your life. Whether you feel strong in your faith or your faith is non-existent, or spirituality, whether you're considering a walk of faith for the first time, or even just getting reconnected or knowing you need to get into spiritual roots. Realize that this connection is where you'll discover your special mission. Right. Next, friends. And friends is all about everything social, not just social media. It includes two categories, friends and acquaintances. Make sure your friendships are supportive, fun, and strong, that they support you in your dreams. Toxic, jealous, negative, dramatic, gossipy, manipulative people have no place in your life, your balanced life. They bring you down and can transfer their own misery and shortcomings onto you. They're energy suckers and they will derail you. Every time someone has everything else going for them on the surface, you crack it open and find that their biggest stumbling blocks are due to their friends or the people that speak into their lives, drain their energy, and those toxic things. You don't have to let them in, and you don't have to let them in any longer. Just make sure you're going back and writing your goals on page 3 to save you time in the future. And then next is fun. So this is something that a lot of people put off or do too much of and neglect other responsibilities. It does have a positive physiological effect on your body, mind, spirit, and emotions. Unwinding with friends, laughing through a funny movie, or just taking time off for leisure activities. It literally changes your physical and mental state for the better. So going into fitness too, this could tick off both boxes there. If you have a goal, you can incorporate more fun into your life and it'll help you to be more fit, whole, holistically as well. So first and foremost, it reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, which makes it easier to cope with nerve-wracking situations. Yes, we all need more of this. But it also boosts serotonin, the brain chemical that regulates mood, memory, and sleep. All right, so you're catching all that? This reduction in your stress level actually reduces mental strain and the physical drain on your body too, leaving you more energetic and clear-headed with better concentration and better focus. So even the American Psychological Association touts the benefits of having fun. Yes. So more important, however, will be the impact on your key relationships. Sharing good times with others helps you to form bonds and social connections, one of the fundamental needs of humans. And in this society where we are so often disconnected and lacking in true eye-to-eye contact and affection with people, having fun and incorporating your friends or family into it is so spectacular for overall issues with depression, anxiety, stress, so on and so forth. So even if you chafe at the idea of putting down your workbook and doing some fun, there are some of those like me. Make sure you are honest with yourself and how much you actually do need this in your life. Okay, and go ahead and move forward. Just for the sake of time purposes, you can always come back on the replay and take as long as you need to with this. So step 3 is how are you going to get there? Achieving your goals requires you to take the first little steps, the actions to take today that will help you achieve your goals in the days to come. So step 3 is all about taking action. Each day, you can write down at least 3 actions that you will take in the next 24 hours that moves you closer to your goals. So you're taking those 3 main goals, breaking them down even more. So if it's to budget weekly, then you're going, like an action step would be to actually make that date, carve out that time on your calendar, have food or beverages for that night, get a sitter for the kids or something, so you have your budget night with your spouse or significant other. And that's how you break down those action steps. So what you can do, and what's really important, is to have something tangible, not just on your phone or an app or something technology wise, because you can easily get distracted. So a trick is to do old school index cards. Yes. And with that, you just split it right down the middle. And on one side, you have what is called Skittles. The other is oranges. And then Skittles are all those mundane things that can easily clutter up your day and make you feel busy, but you don't actually move forward toward your goals. Those are a lot of the things we get bogged down in, like groceries, errands, doing laundry, washing the car. You get the idea. So then the oranges, you're going to break it apart into 3 to 5 main action goals. And those are going to be the things you do first thing in the morning, first thing when you wake up, or as soon as you can. You do that before your Skittles. And then if you do this consistently, before your day starts, when all the distractions come, you'll have knocked out 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5 of your big goals, your big action steps. And this is really the secret sauce to how you shift your life in only a year. So think about those things. What do you need to write down tonight to do tomorrow? What are your Skittles and oranges for tomorrow? And next, we're gonna go into ULA blockers. This is fear, guilt, anger, self-sabotage, laziness, envy, and focus, which is lack of focus or misdirected focus. So what do you feel? Is there anything that comes up for you, if you're honest with yourself, that is the biggest concern for you? Is there self-sabotage? Is it lack of focus? Are you just undisciplined? And that would be the laziness, undisciplined, unmotivated. So there's actually a handy tool, and I actually started using this. I had crippling anxiety, panic attacks, and was greatly stunted, to say the least, with all the issues I had with fear, self-sabotage, lack of confidence, etc. So I actually started using this Ready, Set, Go to my life. And this is what I do often. Now it's so easy to do, like almost a natural instinct. It has shifted so much for me, and it is so simple. So the first thing, ready, is acknowledge that the ULA blocker exists. Acknowledge that you self-sabotage. Acknowledge your laziness. Acknowledge your envy, which trips you up. Set is set it in its place. What will my life look like if I give into this ULA blocker, if I give into this fear? What will my life look like if I overcome this self-sabotage? And then go, you take action. It's the 20 seconds of courage to overcome. So you don't think about it, you don't analyze it, you don't weigh it out. You sit there, You count and you just go. You just jump off the cliff. And it is one of the most exhilarating things. I do not need to ever skydive or parasail or anything because I do this when I apply the ready, set, go method. So think of the strongest ULA blocker in your life currently. And go ahead and do a few minutes of walking through that ready, set, go formula with that ULA blocker. All right, now I'm going to challenge you. This is the part where I do a little coaching here. I'm going to challenge you to commit to sharing with someone important to you in the next 24 hours your ULA blocker. What ULA blockers are keeping you from that balanced life, from freedom in all areas of your life? Think of that person and go ahead and commit to having a chat with them for yourself, and to vow to yourself that things are going to be different this time, for real. And you're following up that statement with an action, with an accountability. In 24 hours, within 24 hours is that time. So applying your SMART goals. And now the next step, once you identify the ULA blockers, you can flip the switch on those things with ULA accelerators. So these are 7 main areas that really shift our whole mindset, outlook, attitude, relationships. It's like that ripple effect. The more we give into the accelerators, the better off we become inside, and it spreads outward. So this is gratitude, love, discipline, integrity, passion, humility, and wisdom. When we can live comfortably in all of these areas, you really look at some of the most successful people, truly successful people. This is what they apply to their lives daily. This is how they look like they just come from a beach every single day. Yet you would never know to look at them, some of the inner struggles or things that go on. But it has all to do with this. So now for the next part, go ahead and think about which of these 7 areas, the accelerators, you are pretty good in, really good in, or know you need some work. So we'll spend a few more minutes here and then move forward. All right, so you've had a little time to think about that. Identify and write out your strongest ULA accelerator, and also one that you would like to focus the most on this year. So you can finish the statement. This is the year of gratitude. This is the year of wisdom, so on and so forth, for whatever is relevant to you. And I'll also throw in here that with love, it's not only giving love, but also allowing yourself to receive love. And then you're going to break those down. So like for love, you can do to love more, I need to listen intentionally and unconditionally, love and support those around me. So you want to use your little notes section on page 44 and just kind of toss off some of those things that come up for you. And next, you're going to see on page 46, your ULA 1 goal. So basically what you're doing is narrowing down from all of those goals that you wrote to one primary goal to focus on. This is how we do it. We get super laser focused, break it down into pieces. So go ahead and look at the goals you've written down for each of the 7 F's of ULA for balance. You can ask yourself if there's another goal tugging at the back of your mind, in your heart. If you do heart centering meditation, you're familiar with this. Ask yourself if there's another goal tugging at the back of your mind that you've not put on paper, that thing that's there that you know should be there but isn't. The one that's holding you back from your ULA life. A life of freedom, balance, reduced stress, and really living your dreams. Living with passion every single day and purpose. That one thing that if you accomplish it, it holds the power to spark the change, to transform your entire life. This is the big thing, the thing that connects everything else. I'm gonna go ahead and play our last song of the night. Take some time with this. And as you're going through this, I want you to know that your life matters. You have so much in you waiting to come out, to share with the world, to impact others' lives in amazing ways. So get out of your own way and let your light shine. And allow this time next year to be one you look back in awe of. Keep in mind that your ULA 1 goal may actually not be part of your top 7 goals, but it may still be in your heart. That thing there that you may have never even voiced before. Go for it. Write it down. Take this time to think about what were to happen if you gave into this thing. Let go of the blockers, embrace the accelerators. What would that mean for your life? And what would that mean for the lives of those around you? Next, you're gonna make your commitment to yourself. Then not another year goes by where you look back in regret, never having moved the needle forward in your life, never moving forward in your goals, never getting closer to your dreams. This is your commitment to yourself, to love yourself, to honor yourself, and those around you who need what you have inside of you. And congratulations. You made it through your year of review. So I hope that was inspirational for you, encouraging, enlightening, and you come away from this with a better grasp on what you can do differently this time around to have the results that you're actually looking for, that you can look at and be super happy with. You do not need to live with unhappiness about your accomplishments any longer. So that's just a taste of what you can experience. Apply this to your life daily. Use the note cards, break down the goals, and above all, don't give up on yourself. Keep going. There are always blockers that come up the more you press into it. And that's where you can come to me for a one-on-one session to help you through this. And there's also an amazing opportunity coming up that applies all of the main things that have helped me transform my life, paired with Erin with Ivy and Light. It is called Onward and Upward, Manifesting Your Big Goals and Dreams. It is a 90-day program. And if you want to hop on and share real quick about that.
Hey guys, Probably some of you already know me, have seen my face. If not, I am Erin. I am the founder of Ivy and Light, and I have been having a blast over the past year or more working with Crystal on several different projects. And this new one is something I'm super passionate about, that I have trained many clients, many people I've worked with over the past several years in manifesting. And we are revamping the Onward and Upward Manifesting course to make it a deeper dive, more transformative experience, and more well-rounded and balanced. And you got a taste of that tonight. So we are going to be helping you to understand manifesting. What does it really mean? How do you really use it in your life? What is the formula for it? In order to put these laws of the universe into practice? How can you release those blockers, heal those past traumas, those things that keep getting in your way when you have a New Year's resolution and you get a month in and then things pop up? How do we deal with that? How do we move through it? And then how do you build confidence in yourself and your goals? And how do you stay motivated and keep the energy moving forward so that you can achieve all your big goals and dreams in 2022 and then beyond? The point of this course is to teach you, give you the training, help you implement it, and then you will know how to do it. So then you are empowered on your own to continue putting these things in practice and manifesting with more grace, more speed, more ease in your life every day. So we are starting that in January. This is the first time that we are running the course. January through March, 90 days of support. If you're watching this on the replay, you may be starting mid-year. It doesn't matter, because anytime you have a new goal, it is a fresh start for you. So you'll treat this practice as if you're really beginning a new year. You get to say, this is the moment that I make a change. This is where everything is going to be no longer stagnant, but moving forward. So we will be offering special pricing for anyone who signs up prior to that. So you're going to want to check the links that we provide them to give you the special beta pricing for this first run of the course. And if you miss out, if you find out about this after the course has started, you can still catch up. You'll just have to do a little bit more work, a little bit more quickly than everybody who jumps on board right at the beginning. So either way is fine. I would say the one prerequisite, you don't need to understand manifesting yet. You don't need to understand the principles that Crystal explained today. You don't need to be a pro at anything, but you do need to be willing to look at your life, willing to take responsibility for how your actions and how your energy affects your life. And you do need to be willing to take some action in order to move forward. So essentially, if what we did today really spoke to you, then you're a perfect fit for that course. You're going to absolutely love it. So Crystal, if I missed anything, feel free to fill them in on the rest, but I'm super excited for you guys. This is a great way to start it. We're actually planning to have anyone who takes the course take this first, no matter what time of year you jump in, because you really do need to know, I always say you need to know your starting line. And this is how you figure out your starting line. So this is a great jumping off point for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And yeah, it started off as Erin's baby and her idea. And we just found that I've been incorporating her principles and framework into my framework. And she brought me on and has been utilizing my tricks and techniques. So it just made so much logical sense to combine it all together. So all of the things that we went through tonight and maybe felt rushed or not as clear, the ULA blockers, the ULA accelerators, we're going to deep dive into each of those throughout the different months of this course. So by the time 90 days is up, you will have crushed through all of these different things. You will get super clear on your goals. And I will be teaching how to actually take your goals and break them down into bite-sized action steps. So if you are ready to have a total transformation, without a doubt, and also know that in the past, you do have the heart, the intentions, and are ready to put the effort into it, but you just need extra guidance and support, this is definitely going to be the best fit for you, the best financial investment. It is a super crazy, awesome deal. Our individual coaching packages compared to this is like insane. We're practically giving it away, honestly. And also the toolkits that can be purchased to come along to coincide with this. We've both used our own giftings to create tools. We personally use this in our own lives. And this is what we do to crush our own goals, to transform and have more balance in our lives. And it's really the main framework, foundations for our own successes in all the different areas of our lives. So no matter what it is, you can come into this, get the support you need, and are guaranteed a change. And you don't have to wait till the end of the year to experience it either. In a month, and especially in 90 days, you're going to experience something radical transforming from the inside and outward. So that's all for tonight. Thank you so much for the workshop. It was a bit condensed for time's sake, but feel free to go back, rewatch as often as you need to, visit each of those steps, or you can reach out to either of us too. We will leave our contact information easily accessible if you need it. But thank you so much, not just for attending, but for taking this time out for you and for those around you, that ripple effect that I mentioned. So take this tonight and go forward and rise up into the coming year and your life ahead. All right, thank you so much. Bye for now.